Behind Israel, there is the support of several major world powers. The United States, for example, plays an important role in this support. Other Western nations also provide their political, economic, and military backing. I want to be very clear from the beginning. I do not justify any killing. I condemn every time an innocent person is killed, regardless of who does it. But I ask a very simple question, and this question disturbs many people. Why is it that when innocents are killed by certain groups, we immediately talk about terrorism, and when innocents are killed by powerful states, we talk about war, strategy, or political necessity? According to me, one of the greatest crimes of modern history was committed by the United States when they dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima. More than 350,000 people were affected, hundreds of thousands died, and many others suffered for years, some until the end of their lives. These people were not soldiers. They were not on a battlefield. They were civilians, women, children, elderly people. So I ask a direct question. What had the residents of Hiroshima done to deserve such a death? What Islamic law, what moral law, what human law authorizes burning hundreds of thousands of innocents alive? In Islam, even during war, strict rules exist. War is not an excuse. War is not total permission. In Islam, it is forbidden to kill women. It is forbidden to kill children. It is forbidden to kill the elderly. It is forbidden to kill civilians. It is even forbidden to needlessly destroy trees and nature. So how can one accept that the United States used a weapon that makes no distinction between a soldier and a baby? To this day, the United States bombs Muslim countries. In Afghanistan, cluster bombs were used. To catch a single man, they drop a bomb that splits into dozens of smaller bombs. These bombs do not choose their victims. Children playing, they die. Women walking in the street, they die. Entire families disappear. And then this is called collateral damage. But I ask, what is collateral damage when a mother loses her child? What is collateral damage when an entire family is wiped out? In Islam, this vocabulary does not exist. An innocent life is sacred, whether the bomb comes from an individual or from the United States. I say without hesitation, the United States was wrong at Hiroshima. The United States is wrong when it kills civilians in Afghanistan. The United States is wrong when civilians die in Iraq. The United States is wrong when civilians die in Palestine with American military and political support. And I say with the same firmness, those who kill innocents in Paris are wrong. Those who kill innocents in New York are wrong. All of it is wrong. No murder of an innocent person is justifiable. Some say, we do this because we were attacked. No, but in Islam, even if someone has attacked you, you never have the right to kill innocents in return. Revenge against civilians is not Islamic law. Those who claim to act in the name of Islam by killing innocents do not know Islam. But those who drop bombs on civilians and claim to act in the name of democracy or freedom are no more justified. Both are in the wrong. The real problem today is not Islam. It is not Christianity. It is not Judaism. The real problem is the double standard. When the United States kills innocents, people call it war. When a Muslim kills innocents, people call it terrorism. But for the victim, an American bomb hurts no less than a bomb planted by a terrorist. The pain is the same. The death is the same. The injustice is the same. On the question of why Muslim countries do not unite against Israel. This is a very good question, and I believe many people in the Muslim world are asking themselves exactly the same thing today. But I must be honest with you, this question should not be directed at me. It should be directed at the leaders of Muslim countries, the heads of state, the governments, those who have the power to make political and military decisions. In one of my lectures, where I spoke about an action plan for the Muslim community regarding the situation in Palestine, I proposed several very concrete points. Toward the end of that plan, I explained something very simple. If Muslim countries truly unite, the situation could be entirely different. Today, when we observe the world, we see that the great powers have understood the importance of alliances. For example, Western countries created a well-known military alliance called the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. This organization brings together many countries, and according to their treaty, if a single member country is attacked, it is considered an attack against all others, meaning all members must intervene to defend that country. Now let us think for a moment. In the Muslim world, there are approximately 57 majority Muslim countries. Imagine if these countries truly decided to unite and create a similar alliance. An organization based on a simple principle. If one Muslim country is attacked, all other Muslim countries consider that attack as directed against them as well. If such an alliance truly existed, many of the conflicts we see today would probably not have the same intensity. Many foreign powers would think twice before intervening. But unfortunately, what we see today is exactly the opposite. Muslim countries are divided. They have different political interests, different alliances, internal conflicts, and this division greatly weakens the collective. Some people say, but look at the military power of the great nations. Advanced weapons, missiles, nuclear arms, immense economic wealth, and great political influence. That is true, all of that is real. But Muslims must remember one fundamental thing. The greatest strength is not simply military or economic. The greatest strength is the help of Allah. When Allah is with a people, that people can overcome obstacles that seem impossible. But to deserve this divine help, Muslims must be united, sincere, and attached to the teachings of their religion. Today, the main problem is not only the power of other nations. The main problem is the internal weakness of Muslims. And this reminds me of a very well-known hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. The Prophet explained that a time would come when the nations of the world would gang up against Muslims, attacking them, despising them, and mistreating them. The companions were surprised by this statement and asked, "Will this happen because Muslims will be few in number?" The Prophet replied, "No, you will be many. But you will be like foam on the surface of the sea. Foam is abundant, but it has no strength. It floats, it scatters easily, it has no stability." This is exactly the image the Prophet used to describe the state of the Muslim community at a time when it would be numerous but divided. And this division is something the Quran clearly warns against. Allah says in the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 103, "Hold firmly to the rope of Allah and do not be divided." This means remaining united around the Quran and the authentic teachings of the Prophet. Let us take a simple example. If the current situation were solely a direct conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, without the intervention of major world powers, the situation could be very different. Even if Palestinians have fewer weapons, fewer resources, and less military equipment, history has shown multiple times that weaker peoples can resist and sometimes even defeat more powerful adversaries when they have determination and faith. But today's reality is more complex. Israel does not face only the Palestinians. Behind Israel, there is the support of several major world powers. And in the meantime, what are Muslim countries doing? The answer, unfortunately, is very disappointing. Many Muslim countries remain silent, divided, or limited to political statements. And this is very sad when one sees the suffering of the people of Palestine. There is also a great historical irony in this situation. In the past, when Jews were persecuted in certain parts of the world, the land of Palestine offered them refuge. They were welcomed and allowed to live on those lands. But today, we see Palestinian families expelled from their own homes, and those who resist are sometimes accused of being terrorists. Faced with this situation, it is necessary to think about concrete solutions. Muslim countries must develop strategic alliances. They can also establish strategic relations with other international powers when necessary. Muslim countries also possess very important resources that many people forget. For example, a large portion of the world's oil reserves are located in Muslim countries, and oil remains an essential resource for the global economy as well as for military and industrial infrastructure. Allah has also given other important resources to certain Muslim nations. For example, a large portion of the world's palm oil production comes from Muslim countries such as Indonesia and Malaysia. This means Muslim countries already possess strategic economic resources, but again, these resources can only become a force if Muslim countries genuinely cooperate with one another. Western nations have also created international organizations to cooperate in the field of security, such as international police cooperation systems. Why would Muslim countries not create their own institutions for cooperation in these areas? Why always depend on structures controlled by other powers? Muslim countries could cooperate in many domains: trade, economics, security, defense, technology. The goal would not be to oppress other peoples, but simply to protect their own populations and defend their interests. When we look at recent history, we see many conflicts in which Muslim populations have suffered. In Afghanistan, in Iraq, and today in Palestine, thousands of lives have been lost. And yet some countries that present themselves as defenders of human rights remain silent or support certain actions. But despite all these difficulties, Muslims must never lose hope, because according to several authentic hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, before the end of times, there will come a period when justice and peace will spread across the earth under a leadership guided by the teachings of the Quran. According to certain traditions, there will be a period of peace and prosperity lasting several years, during which justice will be established. We do not know whether we will live to see these events. Only Allah knows the future, but what we do know is what we must do today. Every Muslim must support his brothers and sisters.